You're listening to ResultsLeader.fm. Being a thought leader is easy. Getting results is hard. This show is for the results leader who lives and dies by their results. Here is your host and Chief Results Leader, Jonathan Rivera.
Oh, it looks like the red light is on. Boom, boom, pow. You know what time it is. It is time for another ResultsLeader.fm. And today we're doing another live edition. And I only do this for very special guests. And today is one of my favorite guys to talk to. It's a guy that I've known for the last year and watched him do some amazing things. I think the last time I spoke to him, he had like 27 different businesses. He's probably got 37 now. All right, 10 businesses, but 37 is just a little exaggeration. But for real, this guy's got a huge team. He's been a real estate investor for the last 19 years, building homes, developing, flipping, wholesaling, lending, doing rentals. And he has also diversified. And this is one of my favorite things when I see guys take what they do in real estate to other businesses. I know that these are the kind of people we want to have on the show. So today I have a special guest. His name is Mr. Terry Thayer. What is up, my man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing? Or should I say brother? How do you say it? Brother.
You got, dude, it's brother. Man, it's good to be here with you. It's good to be speaking with you again. It's been a little while since we've done an interview, and the last time we had a blast. So I knew when I was doing this project, I had to have you back. So you ready for Results Leader, man?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, here it is, the softball. What book or books have you given most as a gift?
Given most as a gift. Wow, there's so many. I'm trying to think of which one weighs out more. I mean, Think and Grow Rich has always been a book that I've given so many, but and then my team always gets, because we're in real estate, is the book Flip, right? So I'm always given that book. I think I probably have like 10, 12 copies sitting up here right now to hand out. But even Mark Evans, like Magician versus Mule, I've sent out many of those because I think that speaks more to my mission, like my message that I'm trying to get across, right? It used to be Michael Gerber's E-Myth. I would send out a lot of those, but I think Mark has completely taken that one over. And he's, I've given much more of his than Michael Gerber's.
So how, and this book comes up over and over again, and I'm always curious when someone brings it up. How did you find Think and Grow Rich? Because that's an ancient book.
Yeah. Mentors. I mean, first, honestly, like I was, even though I started early, I was late in my years, right? So I'm 45 now. I didn't discover mentorship and financial education up until 2012.
What?
Yeah. So it's mind blowing. Like I hear some of these guys, like even Mark, right? We were just talking about Mark. He's like, oh yeah, 2005, this, that. And I'm like, man, 2005, like the only education that came through my head was college. I didn't know anything other than that. And I was just the daily grind, right? And so in 2012, I learned about mentorship, hired my first mentor. And ever since then, it's just been just to the next level and just reading books and all that stuff. So prior to that, I like literally had no clue. I was figuring out all this by myself.
Wow. So let's talk about that a little bit more and the concept of mentorship, because you've been doing rentals, you've been doing rehabs, you've been doing flips. And in those relationships, like I came from a construction background. And when I was a newbie, green electrician, they paired me up with a journeyman so that he could mentor me. So why did it take you so damn long to figure this out?
Honestly, so I've been asked this question several times, right? And I think, honestly, it was 10 years. Like I started 97, I started my first contracting business. 2002 is when I really got into real estate. So 2002 to 2012. And I think it was honestly because my head was down. I was working stupid hours. I didn't have time to even think about anything or network with the right people. It was like, if I had 5 minutes off, I took that 5 minits or whatever. That was my time off back then. So I was working 120 hours a week. And wow. Yeah, it was exhausting. And I didn't have time to learn. And the way I found out about my first mentorship was through the radio. Like I heard about something on the radio and I went and, called into this whole thing and attended this whole 3 day, you know how it is,
Yeah.
right? The whole from stage. And honestly, it was the thing I got the most from that mentorship was learning about mentorship. It wasn't about the content I got from that mentorship, right? It was learning about mentorship, learning about masterminds. That was what, and then I just became obsessed. I'm like, oh, there's people that can actually show you how to do this faster and how to scale. And you don't have to work 120 hours a week to make the money I'm making. I can actually make more doing less. It was like, just mind blowing.
Make more doing less. Love it. So let's talk about the ugly side of entrepreneurship. It's ugly to people that are not in it, but to us, it's beautiful. I'm talking about failure, and I want to know how an apparent failure set you up for later success.
There's so many. Yeah, it happens daily. It happens weekly, right? But some of the big ones, after this many years, I don't even look at it as failure, right? It's like, oh, that was such a great lesson. And you mentioned, for us, it's great. But if you're looking for a specific, right? I think that some of the biggest ones were trying to figure out how to do a specific thing on my own. So when I really wanted to take the market acquisitions piece of my business and make it its own business instead of a division for my new builds, right? And I just want to like marketing acquisitions, bring in deals, wholesale them, all that stuff, and really scale it, do it virtual. Like I fell pretty damn hard. Like I was putting out more money and time, and it was like I wasn't getting a return. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It worked when I did it at a small scale, but when I wanted to make it big, you didn't just spend more money and the same thing comes in, right? So I ended up hiring a mentor, right? I'm like, look, you're not going to teach me anything about real estate. I've been doing this a lot longer than you have, but I need to know specifically how to do this piece very efficiently. And so that person gave me the formula, and it was huge. And ever since then, that was 3 years ago that happened, 3.5 years ago that happened. Now I don't even think about it. Like if I want to figure out how to do something, like who knows how to do this at the highest level, let's go straight there.
Who, not how. Dan Sullivanism there, strategic coach. I'm a big fan, 5 years in the program. And it's hard when you come from that back-breaking mule mentality to realize there's people that are smarter than you, that you can hire them and they can give you a shortcut. And then you're like, oh, damn, why wasn't I doing this 20 years ago? So let's do this, man. Let's talk about investments. Clearly, you're into self-development. You're into getting better. You're into mentorships. I'm curious to know, what is the most worthwhile investment you have ever made?
I think e-com automation right now. Like I own stores, but now I own a company that does all the automation now. I mean, it's just crazy numbers on that. So if you look at, you're looking at investments, it's crypto, right? Crypto by far. I mean, it's crazy what we're doing in crypto. I did my first investment with crypto it was either March or April. And I was we have this exotic car club here. And I'm sitting at the bar with this guy. He's, showing me his Coinbase account, and he had 1.3 million in Bitcoin. And I was
wow.
like, I knew about Bitcoin, but I know people really invested like that into Bitcoin. And I'm like, that was mind blowing to me. It was $8,000 then. Okay. So think about that.
It's like 60, right?
Right. Exactly. So it was 8,000. And he's like, and I'm like, I've never bought it. I don't really know anything about it. And he goes, did you know you could buy it on the Cash App? I'm like, no. And I think the max was like 2,500 or 3,000, one of those two. And so I sat right there and I bought whatever that max was that day. And today that's like just in that little Cash App account that I have. I never bought anything more from that platform, but it's like 15 or 16,000 bucks just from that. I bought it 8,000. It's 40 something thousand right now. But yeah, some of the things that we've done with crypto in just like the last 3 to 6 months have been, just huge as far as a passive investment, or not passive investment, but like trading investment, right? But the e-com, man, it's crazy. Like you invest into the store. We don't have time to be sitting there, doing all this stuff like personally. So when I learned about automation, I'm like, it was mind blowing. So I buy a store and then somebody else manages the entire thing. And I use credit cards, not even have to put my own money up, and then like re-show the people how to get this credit to get higher limits. And then they're making between 10 and even 30%, depending on the type of store, returns monthly. So you get those stores doing 100,000 plus per month. It's, on average, $25,000 a month that you can be bringing if it's done right. And then there's a split, like a 70-30 split, where you get 30, they get 70%. I mean, it's like for sitting there doing nothing but paying your credit card twice a month. That's not a bad gig. And it's month over month after over month, right?
Yeah, man. And you haven't, I don't think you haven't been doing that long either, have you?
No, so I started my own company, brought on a partner that's been doing this now for 3 years, brought on a partner who was that back in December. So it's only been my company specifically for a few months. I got into it back at the end of 2019. I was selling stores for other people. I own stores with other people as well. And I'm like, man, there's something here. And I need to figure out specifically. So I ended up getting very fortunate being able to partner up with somebody that's been doing this, that I had a missing piece from him and vice versa. So it worked out very well.
Yeah, man. So I want you to think back over the last 5 years. What new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
Routine. I would say routine, a morning routine, I think has been the biggest impact. And what I mean by that is, let's just talk about the gym. If you don't have a solid morning routine, you're like, oh, I'm just going to go when I get off work. We know how that works, right? You leave it for the end of the day, like, who knows what's going to happen? Everything can explode by then. So for many years now, I get up at 4:45. I'm at the gym by 5:30. I'm home by 6:30. I shower, I've got supplements, coffee, all these different things that I do and drink, and then wake up my kids, spend time with my kids, and then I leave at 8:30 to go to the office. Now, if I didn't have that routine, first off, my gym game would be my health wouldn't be where it needs to be. I wouldn't have like that specific time every single day with my kids. There's just so many different things. But here's the other thing. I've noticed that ever since I've had that routine, it literally sets my entire day. So without that, things were crazy. So having that routine, and honestly, like, what's funny is this has come up so many times in the last couple of months. Friends of mine, high level, that are just crushing it. And they're having anxiety. They're just like, they don't feel like they have, they're not sure of their purpose, like just different things like that. Right. And I'm like, well, what's your routine? I don't have a routine. Well, when do you work out? When do you do this? Just like whenever I can fit it in. And I've given that advice about a routine to a few people, 2 or 3 guys in the last couple of months. And they've all come back and said, what a game changer, how much it's affected their life by having a routine.
Powerful, man. Powerful. I love it. So, Terry, you are a man who is growing multiple businesses. You're whiz at hiring. Obviously, you've got plenty of experience in real estate. So I want to ask you, what are some bad recommendations you hear in your area of expertise?
Bad recommendations. Where do I start?
That's always a fun one, right?
It's funny. I was just having this conversation with someone over the weekend. Clubhouse, like this new thing, Clubhouse. Like, I try not to even get on there anymore because you get pulled up, right? And then you get in some of these groups that, like, they're the bad recommendations and things that they're teaching people. Some of the really bad recommendations that I've heard lately, honestly, it's like it's about different systems or different places that you should put how you should diversify your money getting into the real estate business, right? I think this is probably some of the biggest things that I hear, right? It's I'm trying to think of how to explain what's in my head right here, what I'm thinking with this, but I hear people just spitting out all these different systems or marketing links or CRMs just because they're an affiliate of it. And half the times they're not even using that product. They're just spitting it out because they're getting paid. So I guess So what I'm getting at is like really hearing the different recommendations, do your research and figure out really if that's the thing that you should be doing. Number one. Number two, make sure that that person's using it. Make sure that they're using it at the highest level and that it's actually producing the results that they're saying that it produces. Right. So, I mean, I think it's a lot of different things, but just getting information from people that aren't even putting that in practice.
Yeah. And so I want to tie this back for you listeners out there. It's not just Clubhouse, it's not just CRMs, but listen to what Terry said earlier when he talked about investing in mentorship. Make sure the people are doing what you want to be doing before you're investing any time, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's intention. Make sure that these people are legit. And that's one of the reasons Terry's here is because he is legit and he's a guy you should be listening to. All right, I know you were getting into that, and we were just about to get into my favorite part where we talk about results. But first, I want to ask you a question. Are you picking up what we're laying down on this show? Are you digging what we are sharing? If you are, why not make yourself a hero today and share this with somebody who can use it? Put this out on your social media channels. #ResultsLeaderFM. I'll be out there looking for you, and I'll make sure to boost it up too when I see you. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump back into the interview. So now, Terry, this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Let's talk about results. Why do results matter?
I mean, what else is there, right? What's the purpose without the results? I mean, the results matter. I mean, that's your scoreboard. That's what drives you to the next level. It's like if results are in business, they're profit. And if you don't have profit, it's not a business, it's a hobby. So then what's the sense, right? So you've got to have results at the highest level. And then how do you, to take it to another level, how do you get your result, continuously push your results to the next level? KPIs, metrics. If you can't see it, you don't know what it is. You just assume what it is, right? I'm at the point right now where every single thing I do in my business, every decision I make is off of some type of metric. So how do we tweak this metric just a little bit here to get better results? How do we, the training I'm seeing, we started where, one thing that I started doing recently is I treat business like sports. Every sport has a coach and they have multiple coaches, right? And what do they do every time? A lot of before game time, practice, right? So we're every single day. I wish I could practice as much as, it's typical. Like we're doing the opposite. They're practicing however many hours every single week to be in a 1 hour, 2 hour game, right? We're practicing 1 hour every single day. So from 9 to 10, every single morning, I'm with my sales team and we're practicing. We're doing role playing. We're doing different trainings and stuff to get them better, to get that better result. And we started doing that in December. So January and February, you look at the metrics and the results, it's just been huge ever since we did that.
And I love the concept there, and I don't believe that any of us as entrepreneurs think about that. And the reason it's coming to mind now is because Dan Sullivan talks about it too, and it's that practice before you put it into play. And everybody's just trying to go out there and play, but they're not putting in the work with their mind, with their body, whatever it is, to be ready for that moment when you're called upon for action. So nobody's even talked about that on the show. So thank you for bringing that, man. Let's go back to reflection time again. Let's think about the last 5 years and tell me what new realization has helped you get better results with your team.
The one I just mentioned, practice. No, just coming back to the whole thing about treating it like it's sports. Once I started doing that, so this is honestly, so I'm like, okay, every team has a coach. Can you imagine the New England Patriots without Belichick, and then Brady had played a part in that whole thing, right? But can you imagine, would they go to the Super Bowl 9 times in the last however many years, 16 years or whatever it was, and win X amount? I don't even know what the stats are on that. Without a quarterback coach, a lineman coach, all these different coaches without all the practice, right? So I started thinking about that. I'm like, why the hell don't we do that in business? Like I had to reverse engineer the whole thing. I learned about mentorship, and what happened? I started seeing massive results. So then you've got a team, like it started with honestly my VAs. Like we were hiring all these VAs for cold callers, and we're like, why the hell are they not putting up these numbers, these results? And like, well, we're not training them. What do we expect, right? We're just giving them scripts and saying, hey, go. So now what we do is we have a 15 to 20 minute training every single morning. We just do it with a screencast or Loom, play it something, show their metrics, show them where they are every single day, show them how they can get a little bit better, critique a couple of their calls. And I'll tell you what, it went. So check this out. We used to say, you need to have between 2,000 and 2,500 dials to hold your seat, right? That's your minimum expectation. You've got to get us at least 2 leads per day. Well, guess what it is now? Now it's 3,500 minimum.
Wow.
And they're pushing between 3,500 and 4,500 dials a day with our system. We have a system for it.
Wow.
And they're giving us between 4 and 9 leads each per day.
Holy cow.
Right. And it was just treating it like a sport. Right. And so now I'm like, I tell my team every day, like today, March 1st, we're like fourth quarter, right? Last month of the quarter. So we're like, okay, guys, look, we got to finish out this quarter strong. I'm trying to get my team to the championship every single year. How do we do it? We're pushing hard. We're holding them accountable. We're making it not comfortable here. We're training them. So that right there has been a mind-blowing change for me.
I dig that. And I dig the part where they're earning their spot. So your spot is not safe if you're not performing. That is beautiful. So let's talk about your business, Terry. What area of your business would you like to see better results?
Always the sales. It's never enough, right? It's like one of the things that I'm looking to find is a really good sales trainer, because here's the thing. That's one of my expertise is sales. But it's like teaching your kids or telling your kids something over and over and over and over. Your dad, they're only going to listen to me so much. It's the same thing here, right? I'm here in their face talking all day long. I'm the only one teaching. They need another flavor. They need an assistant coach. They need somebody else to come in and teach a different perspective. So one of the things that we do is 1 day per week in our training, they have to, one of the salespeople have to bring a training. So that makes them go out and listen to other people that maybe they connect better with, they resonate with, and then repackage up a training that really did something good for them in their pitch or whatever, and then repackage it up, and then they have to train it. So I believe that for me, it's like sales. It's trying to find, and I'm trying to find a good sales trainer to come in and help my team get to the next level in real estate, closing deals over the phone virtually. Even though we're doing great.
But you want to do better.
Not enough. I know that point is, it's like when I thought it's like, what is it? The guy who first ran, was it the 4-minute mile?
4-minute mile. Yeah.
Nobody thought it was possible until it was done, and then it was crushed, and then the next level. Same thing with my cold callers, right? 25 to 3,000. Like you got to at least hit in that spot. Now we've raised that bar up to 1,000 more calls, 1,000 more dials. I used to tell my guys, like, you got to at least get 3 deals per month. Now we're talking about 10 deals. But I even feel like it could be more. There's no reason why they can't do 3 to 5 a week each.
Elite athletes. Elite sales athletes. Oh, man. So I want to talk about one last part of results here. And I want to know what results you are most proud of.
I believe at the same time that I think it needs to be better is getting my sales team to where they are. Like I told my sales team last week in a meeting, I said, there's no reason why every single salesperson in this office shouldn't be earning about $200,000 to $250,000 a year, right? And 3-4 months ago, they never would have saw that. 6 figures, yeah, 100,000, but now I've doubled it and more than doubled it. And now they're starting, because I'm changing the mindset and showing them what's possible, that now they're seeing it. Now they're pushing it up. Instead of like last month, how many deals you got to put on board? 7. This month, I'm going to put on 10, right? I'm like, okay, not just deals. What does that equate to in numbers? Last month, it was like an average of 120 to 150. And this month, it's 200 to 220. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so at the same time, their growth and their buy-in has been, that result, what they're showing has been something that I've been very proud of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can tell. So anything you want to say to the listeners as we are coming to the close?
Yeah. I mean, right where we started, I learned about mentorship 10 years into my real estate career. Had I known 10 years earlier, I'd be in a completely different place. I'm doing very well for myself, but I should be doing a whole lot better. And it's like, stop being stubborn, put your ego down, and ask for help and find out who's doing what you want to be doing at a high level and get them as a mentor. Always have a mentor. Like, have mentors in all kinds of different areas to be consistently pushing you up to the next level.
Gang, mentor can easily be substituted for coach, and a coach pushing you to the next level, telling you get out there and do more dials or whatever it needs to be. Terry, where can our listeners find out more about you?
Yeah, of course. Instagram, Facebook, Terry Thayer, Thayer. So Terry Thayer, what's the II? I'm the second. So that's what the II stands for. And because it seems like Terry Thayer was taken everywhere, even though they only had like 4 followers, it was taken. So yeah, Terry Thayer, TerryThayerII.com, Facebook, Instagram, all different social profiles.
So we will make sure and link to you in the show notes, to your IG, to your Facebook. I follow you everywhere. So we'll get links to that. I want to tell you, thank you for showing up and showing out. I appreciate you, brother, as always. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Another ResultsLeader.fm is in the can. That is a wrap for another edition of ResultsLeader.fm. If you are out there getting results for your clients and you want to be featured on the show, go to ResultsLeader.fm now and apply to be on the show. And if you love what you're hearing, share the show, give us a rating and review, do anything to help us get the message out there. Thought leadership is easy, but results leadership is hard.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.